Yo, what's up, guys? It's the Chelsea Rantman YouTube channel, and today I'm going about on why most people, if not all people, if you're unlucky enough, don't actually give a fuck about you. Now, in my personal opinion, in fact, really, this is actually going to be two parts of the video because there's also going to be sort of a part on why in the end it's all the same, because it is. I'm going to type in the end it's all the same. In the end, life just finishes off the same. Like, you die from whatever reason and then you never experience being alive again, right? I mean, I'm pretty much summed that up in a nutshell. But the reason why I personally don't think that most people don't like or care about you is simply because when people are there with you, and I know this about family, right, and old friends that I'm not friends with anymore because I don't have any friends, and frankly putting it, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. I mean, why does it matter? Like, why does it matter? Actually, another thing as well, if you actually look out, look, it's numbing outside at the moment. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it isn't going to cure my depression or anything, but you can't deny it is a good hit of dopamine to look at, isn't it? Like, not as nice as a nice pair of tits, I Sarad. Don't know why I need to say that, but I mean, I'm pretty sure if you're a guy watching this, you would agree. If you're a woman, you'd probably find me a creep, but who gives a fuck what women think? I certainly don't anymore. Yeah, like realistically, most people don't give a fuck about you. Like most of my family, for example, don't actually care about me. They just want me to be a certain way so it fulfills what they want from me. Like, there is actually a thing where psychologically, where someone wants you to succeed in something, so then they get a pleasure out of it. So then because people don't want to look at negative things all the time, right? Most people want to think, oh yeah, this is my son, this is what he achieved. You know what I mean? Most people don't actually, however, they don't actually care what you think. So if you go against their beliefs or they tell what I'm doing in life to their friends or to the rest of the family, they'll be embarrassed by it. So they don't actually care about you. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like it looks like they do, but when you deep it down, you actually realise actually they don't give a fuck about you. Now, to be fair, I do think my mum cares about me, right? I do. I do think my mum does actually care about me. My dad, on the other hand, not really. He's probably thinking, what kind of son have I raised up? And I guess he's right in a way. I'm lazy, I'm unemployed, I'm a virgin. You know, I'm not exactly doing anything in my life, right? So I guess in that regard, I guess it's understandable that he's disappointed. But in another regard, it's kind of like I almost feel like he just doesn't care. And recently, like in the last year or two, he's been trying to get me driving, which you think that's great, right? Like, how does he not care about you? But it's like he's planning to go to Wales in 55 years. How on earth is he gonna get me to drive? Do you know what I mean? He even said to himself, my job is to get you driving so that I can go to Wales. It's almost like he wants to get me driving so he can get to Wales. The same way that when I wanted to live with him and we went to court because my mum refused, it almost felt like he didn't want me living there. Because the moment I didn't want to live with him anymore, instead of him sort of saying, oh, that's fine, you can, you know what I mean? He didn't really care about me afterwards that much, I noticed. Because I stopped agreeing with everything he said. I stopped being a sheep to him. I started opening up and calling him out on his bullshit. And I noticed he started to like me less. And then when I got to my teenage years, when I was getting bullied, he didn't really help me that much, if not at all. He didn't teach me how to fight, stick up for myself. So in that regard, there's exact proof he doesn't care. And like with my mum's side of the family, they don't really care either, because they pretend to care. And at the moment, instead of when they heard, because I can't, it's hard to say because I don't really have any proof, but when you can just tell most people don't give a fuck about you. Do you know what I mean? I need to sort of take a break actually, to be fair, to really think about it. But yeah, anyway, yeah. The reason why I think the mum side of the family don't actually care about me is simply down to the fact that when they see me, they're very nice. But yet, my nan a few months ago, was it 3 months ago, had a right go at me, and well, I didn't have a right go at me, but went behind my back and said that I'm a waste of space and I've got no potential and that I'm good for nothing, pretty much. And then 2 years ago, someone came over and shouted at me and said all these horrible things to me and threatened me and things like that. and as long as my granddad, and it got to the point where I literally was starting having paranoia, where I could literally I was literally like visioning her everywhere. It was weird. I was having really weird dreams, and I still do now. So I almost have like weird intrusive dreams or daydream where like I'm having to like shout back at her or hit my granddad back because he's hit me and he's threatened me with violence or something like that. I don't know why. I know it's just paranoia and me overthinking things. So it's not like they've never done. It's not well. I actually know they've shouted at me definitely, but never been beaten up by them. But yeah. And at the end of the day, like generally speaking, most people don't care. And like, even to be fair, Samaritans, they don't give a fuck. The NHS doesn't give a fuck. I've been due therapy for 3 fucking years. I know, 3 years. 3 years, and I haven't even had therapy yet. And I'm like, are you mental? Like, are you absolute mental? Like, 3 years, you keep me on a waiting list. And they keep giving me these assessments. Like today I had an assessment and they said, have you had any thoughts of self-harm? And obviously I denied it all. Of course I've had thoughts of self-harm. Well, I had a thoughts of self-harm yesterday. I had a thoughts that I had a fight with my granddad. I hurt him. I was worried I was going to get put in a mental home. So then I jumped off a bridge and I saw my head come off my body and all my guts lined out on the motorway. I did. Like, do you know what I mean? I've sometimes had dreams, which aren't even like daydreaming. It's not actual. Well, to be fair, my daydreaming is just procrastinating and having weird intrusive thoughts. But like, even I'll get dreams about it. I don't get it all every single day. Oh my god, it's snowing heavily. But it's insane. It's absolutely it is insane. And yeah, I've told them that in the past, and they'll say, "Oh, bless you," like acting like they give a fuck, and you don't give a fuck. You're just doing your job. Do you know what I mean? You're just doing your job and being nice. The same way when there's people who give me when I go shopping. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna hate them, but I don't like you because I don't fucking know you, and I don't like strangers, or I hate humanity. So until I know you properly know you as an individual, I don't like you. I just don't, because I've had my trust broken by old friends of mine, had trust broken by family, had trust broken down by the whole system as a whole. And I'm not the only one. Like a lot of I can't relate to exactly young women, but I can relate to a lot of young men because a lot of young men have the exact same problem. This is me ranting about me. It's ranting about the system as a whole. It's all corrupt. The politicians, they give us promises saying that they're going to stop all these illegal immigrants from coming across the borders. Ever since there's been a massive amounts of illegal immigrants, stabbings have gone up, sexual harassment has gone up. It's insane, and no one does anything about it. Now, obviously not all paedophiles or rapists or murderers are immigrants. Some of them are native people, white native people, for example. Some of them are. In some ways, obviously just because you're black doesn't mean that you're going to be a rapist or a serial killer, right? It doesn't mean that. But statistically speaking, they are just as many like foreign people who are raping and murdering and defrauding other people, frauding other people. And yet they're like a minority of the population. Like in the UK. So it's like, where's, like, do you know what I mean? And then you also got the NHS, as I've just said. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're just going to give you a risk assessment and try and pump you full of pharmaceutical drugs. That's going to help, isn't it? Speaking of, well, it's not a drug, it's a supplement, but I've got a supplement and I've heard really good reviews and I heard it helps neurodivergents like me with sleep. So yeah, before anyone comes and says, you can't just sit here and do nothing, I'm trying to do something. I'm even thinking of soon getting buying therapy, because I've got my own money now. I mean, I don't work, but I will be, because they've even said that. I mean, it's not working that bothers me, it's right now. Because I haven't even moved into assisted living yet, and I think for as long as I live here or mum's, I don't think I'm going to be suited to work. I need to go into assisted living and just be with people my own age, really. But yeah, that's the only solution. But yeah, like Samaritans, the whole system, politicians, even your own family don't give a fuck about you, putting it bluntly. And yeah, the world sucks. And as I said, and to be fair, it doesn't even matter. It sucks because it's your emotions. But actually, whatever happens to you doesn't matter, because we're all just a bunch of blobs and cells and bacteria. We're nothing special. Like, do you know what I mean? None of us are. No one. I would like, obviously I'm not a rapist or a murderer or anything like that, but I'm not better than a rapist or a murderer, because when you take away the morals and ethics besides, and you get to the scientific basis, we're all just a bunch of blobs of cells and bacteria. You know what I mean? I think we can all agree with that. You know, unless you're some religious nutjob. And that's actually another video I might actually even make after this one, is why I hate God and why I don't believe in religion. Because I just don't. It's probably why I'm depressed, but I'd much rather be depressed and know the truth and the world for what it truly is. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. Anyway, if you did enjoy, and this is actually shorter than most videos, if you did enjoy, like, subscribe, and